So, because of this strangeness that surrounds this place, I went for a walk around the property and kind of wanted to feel, um, feel everything and see if anything seems kind of weird, and it didn't. That's not helping, is it? Um, I went to see the goose because we have a goose here and a rooster and some chickens. So I went to see them, and it's really funny because I was at the balcony and on the balcony and I looked down to where they live, and the goose was looking up at me with this kind of like, what the hell? And I think it's really cute, really sweet. I mean, I'm terrified of geese because they are vicious creatures, but if they don't like you. But I just thought it was so cute and so kind of. So it's always so interesting when you realize that another creature is actually looking back at you. You know, the consciousness meeting another consciousness. Why is this destroyed? It's very interesting and very sweet, and it's something that you can't really ignore when you see an animal looking back at you and acknowledging your presence as it's a meeting. And I don't know. I went down to greet them, and the rooster was there with his feathery pants. And they all kind of, look at me like, who the hell are you? Do you have any food? There was this kind of awkwardness of the meeting. I thought it was very sweet. So I went around the property, and nothing really seemed to grasp my attention more than anything else. Nothing seemed more mysterious than other things, more alive. Everything is kind of doing their own thing. So I don't know, but I have this need to kind of walk around things and talk to things and greet animals and plants and everything that there is, and kind of announce my presence there and see what happens. And sometimes things happen. I mean, they are very subtle. I'm not someone who can claim that I have some very solid visions of things, but there are sensations that seem to be very kind of synesthetic sensations, some weirder than others, some more clear than others. Always very, very personal. I'm always very careful about sharing these things, because once you share them, it kind of becomes a subject of discussion. It becomes of this kind of like whether something's objective and subjective, and I don't really think that my personal beliefs should be kind of trampled upon. I'm very careful with whom I'm sharing my beliefs, and not everybody has the right approach. People very often try to test your beliefs and will say things like, oh well, if your beliefs are strong enough, then you shouldn't worry about who you share them with. And I think it's total bullshit. If something is sacred, you don't really share it with just anyone on any opportunity in the way that you would share with somebody in a sacred setting, in a ritual setting, or people who share your perspective or share some kind of deeper understanding of things. And this is very difficult to kind of to even to feel whether somebody's actually sharing the deeper perception, or do they just share the interface. I think that's a universal thing of all things. It's not just about beliefs, about spirituality and shit like that. It's everything. We can only just guess to a certain extent whether we are in the same kind of line of understanding, whether these things we talk about, anything we talk about, has whether we hold kind of the same meaning within what we're saying. And somehow our path seems to be, sometimes they seem to match and then they don't match. Okay, great. And so there's a mess behind me, and I was thinking whether I cleaned it up, and I haven't. It's nothing horrible. It's just my clothes and stuff. I hope it's not very visible. Anyway, so sometimes these meanings, are they correspond, and we walk a bit of a path together, and then we realize that we have other meanings and other kind of energetic value or that we give to the words and experiences. And then sometimes we walk separate ways. So it's always a guesswork. There's no really way of knowing whether somebody else feels and thinks the same way, even if we agree on something. It's always kind of a mystery. What is this howling going on? Bloody hell. It's not even a full moon. That happened before as well. So I'm guessing that Chupacabra is crossing the field somewhere. Oh dear. Right, so sometimes I talk about these things and they come up very much more naturally in a conversation if somebody asks me. And then I kind of try very spontaneously to jump into this aspect, this kind of topic out of context, like here, just very, I like this kind of natural way of talking. I'm not here, giving a speech. I'm just kind of talking, and sometimes it has a form of basically like a vlog kind of thing where I just want to say what happened recently, and I know if I try to organize that will last forever, and you will just never hear it. So it will be. It doesn't matter. Things have to be done in a certain pace, and if I'll be, having like educational 15 minutes videos and stuff, where I really want to just deliver the facts or the knowledge or some kind of speech here, then it's different. But if I'm trying to spontaneously kind of recreate the same vibe that, for example, I was just talking to my friend about something, and I'm thinking, oh, this is great, let's talk about it. It's very different without the help of the other person, who very often, gives you a feedback that provokes other. I'm glad you asked. And then you can bounce off of it, and that makes much more sense. And that's one of the reasons that I like to do podcasts and interviews and things like that, which would have a very, I'm giving a little insight of what's happening next. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe and all that stuff. I should do that, shouldn't I? Because people forget to subscribe, and that's a crime. That should not happen. You should totally subscribe to my videos, even if I wear no makeup sometimes. So I just look at myself and I'm like, oh shit. Really tired. So yeah. interviews will happen. And hopefully, I just wish, you know, this is so frustrating. It's always been my biggest frustration in life. Well, there was quite a few, but one of them, the inability to always grasp everything. You know, I look at something, and this is the thing with pictures. When you take pictures and you learn to look at the world in a certain way, and you find beauty in things, and then you just want to you know, make them immortal, and you just keep clicking away, and you don't know whether you should put this fucking camera down and just absorb everything, or you should take pictures that immortalize everything, or whether, you know, I wish I could just keep everything, and it's horrible. It's this attachment of life in human form that's going too deep. But you know what I mean? It's then the thoughts that are coming to your head, and you wish you could, you know, put them down. And I've learned that I started taking notes, you know, more and more kind of in my life, because I used to trust my memory, and now I don't trust my memory. And maybe that's why I can't remember things, because now I'm used to writing things down. But sometimes I forget to write things down, or immediately, and then they evaporate, and it's a loss, and I feel like I had a genius thought, and it's gone forever, and humanity will have to do without it. Such a loss. Yeah, but there are these things that, you know, ideas and stuff that are coming, and you might say, oh, if it's worth it, it will come back. If it's really that good, it will come back. What if not? What if it will not? Then what? So I try to write things down, but sometimes there are moments which you cannot interrupt by, like, oh, excuse me, I'm just going to take a note. You know, if you have a very deep, natural conversation with someone. I actually used to do that. I had friends who would have just bombarded me with knowledge and with references and things, and I would just say, like, hang on a second, what did you say? Say that again, you know, and I would take notes, and these would be very inspiring notes, and that would serve me later on. And it's great, but you can't always do that. It might also make people slightly uncomfortable, you know, like, oh, excuse me, let me just, what did you say again? And yeah, but that means always there is a part of things that are somewhere lost in the process. And same with writing. Same with writing same with writing, with the writing, you know, the big writing, the more elaborate writing, when I have a piece of writing, and then I have to kind of go back to it, and kind of have to read my own stuff over and over again, and it's very exhausting. I hate doing that, just like I hate watching my videos once they're made, because once they're made I want to move on, you know, to something else, and not kind of dwell on whatever nonsense I said and be completely embarrassed by that. And yeah, there are certain things that I just wish, you know, I wish that, for example, something that I really that I hold dear, you know, and I share this, and I, for example, I don't share it in a way that kind of evokes how important that is. I feel like even now there are some things that I found really important, but I just kind of, you know, give them as a sideline, and but I can always say things over and over and over and over again, because not everybody will watch everything, not everybody will read everything. And when you see, you know, some people, they just kind of, I mean, maybe we all do this, you know, we just have like a one, what's that, Madrid, that's local pen, it's blue, I mean, the ink is blue, so this is like an act of desperation there. Blue ink. We all kind of are our story. We and people, people. You know, these people, the people. I'm not the people. These are the people. No, but us, we all do that. We have a story. I definitely have a story which I like telling over and over and again, and people generally stick to some kind of story, some kind of phrases they keep repeating. And why am I saying that? I kind of forgot. Have I really forgotten what was my point of telling, you know, you kind of stick to one story and, oh yes, because I'm saying that I can repeat myself, and this is kind of how people wing their way through life sometimes. Sometimes they make entire business, entire career out of a couple of phrases that they repeat over and over again in different contexts. I find it quite annoying. I find it, well, annoying. It's just you know, it's something that people do. It's not really I think it's like common to all of us. We all do it to a certain extent, and it might be difficult to kind of escape. Just like artists who kind of find a way that works, and they stick to one style, to one kind of manner that they milk, you know, and it's hard then to kind of break it, to try something new. It doesn't feel well, and you know, that's how we kind of get stuck in our loop. And I think the same happens with art, with writing, with life, with careers, with in general, with certain habits and certain self, you know, fulfilling prophecies, and everything is a loop. So I think the key is to get unlooped, unstuck from the loop. I definitely have loops. I'm very sensitive to other people's loops. Sometimes my own repetitive kind of habits of whatever are driving me crazy, and I kind of feel trapped by patterns. I don't like patterns. I get very irritated by patterns. No, I do like patterns in some ways, like jigsaw puzzles. You know, I like doing jigsaw puzzles. I'm very good at that, and these kind of patterns are nice. But unconscious, automatic, thoughtless, robotic patterns of human beings, and that including myself, can be quite annoying for me. I don't know why. And on that happy thought, I'm gonna end today's video. So I shall see you soon. Take care.